Sorry, Joranda, if I can interrupt there
yes.
quickly. The first
Yeah.
tip that we'll need to know is where to find this recording. I know it seems like a stupid thing for those, but I think a few other people are also in the same boat where we're a little bit lost on VC Learn in terms of where do we find what we actually need to do, and then, you know, what we need to read,
Yeah.
and then where do we actually find the information. So it's
Okay.
a bit daunting at the moment.
Yeah, don't worry about that. So we've simplified things quite a lot that don't work on VC Learn that much at all. Your recordings are going to be placed in YouTube. So, but I cover it in today's session. I actually show you pictures of where it is. So I will send you a link and I'll show you where you will find this link, and you'll be able to find all the recordings. I'm also happy to do sharing of material on the WhatsApp group, because I just feel at this stage, because some people are still struggling with connectivity, that is by far the quickest way to make sure everybody gets something. Okay, so let me talk you through what's cooking. On your screen, provided you are, there we go, load sharing is over and my laptop's just switched on, so covered. So on your screen that you are looking at now, on the top left, there's like three little, provided you're on a computer or a laptop, not on your cell phone. I'm not 100% sure what it looks like on a cell phone. So on the top left corner, there's like three little stripes, and then there's it looks like a camera with a red dot in it. And that indicates that this session is being recorded. Then there's a little hand that you can wave, but don't worry about that right now. Then there's a minus and a plus. So if I'm sharing a screen with you and you can't see clearly what's on the screen, you can open it up bigger with that plus and the minus. So obviously the plus is going to enlarge it, and the minus is going to make it small. So if any lecturer shares material and you can't really read what's on the screen, that's an easy way for you to do it. Then next to it, there's a square with like two little arrows. That's just to make it full screen. We're not going to worry about that. Then a little bit further down, there's a bit of a gap. Then there's our little signs, goodies, thingies on the right-hand top side. So first one is a pencil, and that is what you're going to use if we use whiteboard writing, which we won't be doing today. You don't need to know about that. Then there's a square that looks like it's got four little points with a T inside it. That is if I want to send a text, I would use that for typing. What though is very important for you guys, there is so someone's already using the pen, so please don't do that because it's annoying. There's like a square with an arrow down. If you click that arrow down, you are downloading my presentation. So you will be able to view it after the class. So I would highly recommend that whenever you have got a session with anyone, and they've got slides on like this, you download that. It just makes it easier for you to keep track of what's going on. I tend to be quite visual, so I try to always give you guys a picture with whatever it is I'm explaining, because I am currently, let's go through the introduction, then I'll talk to you through it a little bit more. So that's the first big tip that I've got for you, is please try and do that download thing. So on our agenda today, we're going to introduce ourselves, the humans, and we're going to look at the actual module. We're going to look at lab, what's all our lab discussions going to cover. I'm going to talk you through your timeline. We're going to go through VC Learn, what's under more resources, the ICE tasks and submissions of things. And then we're going to glance through Learning Unit 1. So let's get started. So first of all, who am I? Let me switch my camera on so that you guys can actually see me. Here we go. Okay, so there I'm in the bottom corner. So I'm waving hello. greeting you all the way from Century City in Cape Town. I've recently moved here in the middle of December, so I'm still getting used to life in Cape Town. I'm going to stop my video at the bottom, otherwise it takes up a lot of bandwidth. Okay, so who am I? My full name is Yuranda. It's Afrikaans. The majority of people don't know how to say it properly, so my students normally call me Joe, and I'm quite okay with that. So by all means, if you want to type my name out in our WhatsApp, some of you have been very polite, and I appreciate that, but you can just call me Joe. That's not a problem. So I am married. I am a mom. We're a blended family, so we're quite big. So I was married before, he was married before, now we're together. We've got 6 grown-up children, and luckily for us, we get on very well. I am a daughter. My father passed away many years ago, but my mom is now thankfully living with me, and I absolutely love having my mom with me. So that is quite special to have her with me. I am a lecturer in the online space. We do not talk about lecturers. We're talking about an online tutor. I am a student as well because I'm finishing off my master's degree at the moment. And hopefully some people can consider me to be a friend. So that's just a brief who it is. What's my experience? I've had 27 years of teaching experience in private schools as well as state schools. The subjects that I normally taught at high school, I no longer teach. I just teach now, but what I used to do is I used to teach. I'll tell you guys now what's my master's in. So I did Afrikaans, first additional language, arts and culture, business studies, which, sorry to say it, I found extremely boring. I didn't enjoy teaching that. English home language, I enjoyed, but the marking was crazy. Sorry, there's very noisy kids outside here. Geography and then music, but I refuse to teach music anymore because that's by far the most work. So some of you asked me, what am I doing my master's in? So I've specialized in curriculum development, and I have my thesis is the experiences of novice teachers. So I basically track what happens with novice teachers in that first year of teaching. What do they struggle with? What don't they struggle with? As soon as I finish with my master's, which should be this semester, next semester I need to sign up for PhD because it takes long to get ethical clearance. And then I'm most likely going to track 4 to 6 newly qualified teachers next year, check in with them in each term of the 4 terms, and then write up a thesis based on that. So basically, what we do as educators of future teachers to make life better. I've been lecturing for 7 years, so it is definitely my specialization. I really enjoy lecturing. And my current passions, I've moved away from languages. I'm kind of like tired of just doing languages all the time. So inclusive education, you guys will do a module called INCL. I actually wrote that module, so you might find that to be pretty interesting when you get to do it. It's a second semester module, but you could choose which year you obviously do it in. And then I enjoy philosophy, which is what I'm going to be teaching you. And I also enjoy research. I lecture research in the B.Ed space. So very much a wide range of things. I get bored very easily, so I like to keep things interesting. So just in case you were interested, these are typically the stuff that I lecture. As you can see, a variety. You guys are probably interested in the PGCE things. So I've lectured PRET, I've lectured obviously Foundation, which you guys are doing, Foundations of Education, SFTL I've done, INCL, I wrote that one, as I said, and I've lectured it, and TESF, which is your teaching experience module. So I'm waiting for Inez, who is our program manager for School of Education. She's probably going to join us in about 5 minutes time, just to sort of in how are you all doing and so forth. She's also new, but I'm very happy that I worked with her. So in case you didn't know now yet, what are my contact details? So there's my cell phone number. Everyone should be on the WhatsApp group by now. It is really the easiest way for students to communicate with me and with each other. It's not the official channel, obviously. So if you need to send me things on an official capacity, it is obviously better to do it via the system. So I tend to have 2 email addresses. It doesn't really matter. They're both linked with each other. The official one is the iie.ac.za one, as you can see there. I don't really mind which one you use. I get them both. I try to respond as quickly as I can. I am a full-time lecturer as well. So can't always answer you straight away, but I try to get to you as often as possible. So I've already stated on our welcome letter, our WhatsApp group is there for us to chat. So I will obviously, yes, I simplify your philosophy for you a lot. I will be making a whole lot of videos called chunking videos, where I take certain aspects that I know students can struggle with. I'll make a short video for you, explaining to you how to understand that specific thing. But let's get back to that just now. So I will be sharing memes and often also articles that's of interest, related to not always philosophy. Sometimes it could just be related to education. I will share. This is where you guys can ask for advice as well. So I really don't have a problem with making a short little video to explain to you how to find something. I've done that in the past for our online students quite often. So let's say, for argument's sake, Chris says to me, I don't know where to find this assignment. I've gone through your steps and I can't find it. Then I can go on, or any of the other students that know how to answer it can then go in and sort that all out. Okay, so Nathan says he's not on the WhatsApp group yet. So Nathan, are you on anyone else's groups? I think that's the link to the WhatsApp. I don't know if you can join. No, that's the Collab link. Sorry. Hopefully someone else can help you just now with the WhatsApp group. If not, let's quickly go one step back. There's my contact details. You can see my cell phone number now. Please send me a message. I'll respond to WhatsApp messages after the session, and I'll add you to the group or send you the group link personally. It is really important for you to get onto that WhatsApp group. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. So Jennifer has got it in our chat at the bottom there. You can see how to get onto the WhatsApp group. It really will make your life easier, especially when you start working on your assignments. Okay, so the big deal here is we're going, sorry guys, it's extremely noisy here. Just hold on, let me try and see if I can go ask the kids to send them away. Sorry about that. That's the is the noise not coming through? Okay. It's just I'm right next to a playground. So I've got kids playing soccer, but I've asked my grown-up children to ask them to come back later. Okay, so the idea behind the WhatsApp group is there for me to help you guys. So when you start looking at something, please, it's like the typical thing of a school. You're scared to ask the question because you don't want to look foolish. I can almost guarantee you, asking a question on the group is going to be such a light to some of the other students because they're going to say, oh my goodness, I've been wondering the same thing. And then I get a chance to answer you, and you will then hopefully have a little bit of a better feel of what's going on. So the big deal with philosophy is that, especially for our BCom students, I find that they really struggle with it. Our English majors, they did a lot of writing, so they kind of okay with that. And obviously the people that studied psychology, so that's studying to be life orientation teachers, they tend to take to philosophy quite easily. But our numbers-based students, with other words, your BCom people, your students that's studying to be maths teachers, they can find this to be overwhelming at times. And at that moment, I'm going to quickly pause. I see Inez has stepped in. Inez, would you like to say hello to the group?
Thank you, Yoranda. Thanks so much for giving me some time to come join your session. I just want to wish everybody a wonderful first week of live engagement sessions. If you haven't engaged with me, I'm Inez Dalmeida, your program manager. I'm sure if you have been in the O-Week sessions and watched the YouTube video, you already know who I am. But for those who don't, I am the program manager, and I am going to be looking after you in your academic journey with your PGCE qualification. Just a couple of reminders. We are tracking your online engagement for teaching experience. So please just be aware of that. If you are unable to attend a live session, please just let your online tutor know so you're not negatively impacted with that online engagement. I just want to wish you all the best for this week and the upcoming semesters. And please, if you do have any queries, don't hesitate to email me or use the VC Assist platform. All right, thank you so much, Yoranda, and have a lovely session, everyone.
Inez, can I just hijack you for one moment quickly? Just a quick question on the missing modules. Quite a few people are missing something here or there. We've logged tickets, but they say the matter's resolved, but then you still don't have your module.
All right, thank you so much, Chris. I know with PRPC there has been some IT issues and they are working on it. A lot of students have had the module and now all of a sudden it is disappeared. So they are working on that. For FOED, there's still one group that needs to be added, so they're busy adding that. I do have the live engagement link, so if it's still missing, please just email me so I can send through that link for you to actually join the session. And please, Chris, just so you know and everyone knows on the session, if your module has not appeared, you're not going to be negatively impacted in terms of tracking. That's just not fair. So please just let me know and keep in communication with me and your online tutors so we can get you up and running. Unfortunately, I do not have the power or let's say not the power, the skills, the IT skills to get your modules up and loaded. So please excuse that. I am working with the teams very closely to try and get everybody in and up and running for your online sessions. And then just I saw there is a TESF query that is a second semester module, so that will not appear until semester 2. You are going to be getting a link for the online engagement sessions on the 22nd and the 23rd. So all your second semester modules will not appear in semester 1. Okay.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Inez.
All right. Have a good evening, everyone, and you know where to find me.
Thanks, Inez, for popping in.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Yoranda.
Okay, everyone. So we're going to continue with our story. I'm very glad to see quite a few of you have got your MAs in English. So you're slim kindness. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. But what I was trying to say is I do know that some students struggle with the amount of writing that's required, and some struggle with the concept of the fancy word for it is assimilation, is reading a vast amount of texts and putting it all together in one. So that is really a problem. So don't worry if you find if you find philosophy to be okay and you're fine with it, great. If you can help others to make it easier for them, by all means do. But if you are one of those that really struggle, please know that you're not alone. I also lecture this module in the BS space, so I help a lot of students across campuses. I also lecture this at Mancosa, something very similar to that. So don't worry about it. The problem with philosophy is that you can get overwhelmed by the details. It's like, I presume it's like doing a microscope. How little is too little? Do we go into atoms, or are we going even further details than that? So that is basically where it is. Yes, Chris, there's a set format for referencing. At a later stage, I will share that with you. You guys do get it when I do the when I do the NSS. You'll see just now where I get that from. The National whatever center that tells you. So I basically talk you through an assignment when it's one of those. And I tend to provide students with a template. So I will say to you, this is how you should lay it out. This is what's expected in this question. This is why you would answer it, and so forth. I don't know the textbook name off by heart now. I am too busy with that. So Debbie, please do not stress. Don't cry about it. If I hear from you a lot, that's fine. Don't worry about it. So let's move on. So what is philosophy all about? So philosophy tends to ask these questions, especially with regards to education. Thank you, Karen. That's the name of the textbook. Philosophy of Education Today by Higgs and Smith. There is an online version or a PDF version of it. It's floating around somewhere. I'm not too sure where, but you guys can get hold of it. So let's look at the questions. Okay, Beulah says, can we please work on referencing, especially? Yes, I will definitely do so. I have a full course that I go through with you before your first assignment, in which I go in detail. What is it that I'm looking for? I give you examples of ones that's incorrect to help you through all of that. Okay, now let's focus on the next questions. What's the purpose of education? What is the role of the teacher in the classroom? So that's a big one. So the purpose of education, depending on who you are at this stage of my life, the purpose of education is to uplift the people. What is the role of the teacher in the classroom? I see myself as a conduit. I'm the bridge between the syllabus and the knowledge that the kids have got to try and get into their heads. That's my role. How should a curriculum be structured? So that tends to be the philosophy stuff. So I, as part of my master's, because I did do coursework, I had to do all of this in detail. How does curriculum get structured and so forth? Pretty interesting in some aspects, and in other ones very boring. So hopefully you guys won't focus on number 3. How do learners learn best? Now that's what your whole PGCE is based on. So you're going to be doing SFTL. Most of you are with Visham, so him and I are buddies, and he is really very good to help you to look at that. Then you're going to, in second semester, you're going to be doing inclusive ed, the INCL module with Monica. Also the whole module, as I wrote it, actually is structured so to help you to help the kids learn the best way possible. And then the last aspect of education is assessment. How do we assess? What's the most effective way to assess? These are typically questions that people that study philosophy of education will focus on. So let's have a look at our assessment. You will have 4 ICE tasks. You'll see them just now. They're all on these slides. ICE tasks are worth 10% of your final mark. You'll have 2 assignments and a summative assignment. So assignment 1 is based on learning unit 1 and 2. That is going to be due on the 4th of April. There's a slide just now that tells you that. Assignment 2 is only based on learning unit 3, and that one is due on the 2nd of May. Your summative assignment is, or I call it the summative assessment, is the one that's on all of them, and that's at the end. It's due on the 21st of June. So these papers are out already. You can look at the questions. If you look at the questions, you're like, oh my word, what are these people on about? Don't worry, I break it down for you and I simplify it tremendously. So this is just basically telling you your assignment 1 will take you around 10 hours. For those of you that write easily and enjoy writing, it will probably be in the region of 6 to 8 hours. Those of you that really struggle with writing might take a lot more, depending on your own writing style and learning style. Your summative assessment just tells you basically what you can all expect, as this is already available. You can read it and see for yourself what it is that you need to do. So this is a very important one. Those of you that are on the WhatsApp group already, that have got your phone nearby, it would be cool if one of you can take a picture of this slide and just put it on the WhatsApp group so that everybody has a date of everything. So today is our first session. It's our introduction that I'm currently still busy with, giving you an overview of the module. Then we're going to go into learning unit 1 that I'm going to just briefly cover. Don't stress about learning unit 1. I will still be making you videos based on that. Student number 1027055, I see your query. Where can you find them? I have posted them on the WhatsApp group at a different stage when we will go again. I will notify you via VC Learn and the WhatsApp group when I have released those videos. But they will take me probably by tomorrow evening. I'll start making them. I can't make them today, so I'll start making them probably Tuesday and Wednesday. So my goal, okay, my personal, so it could go a little bit wonky, is that on Mondays I send you guys just a follow-up checkup letter on the system, and on Thursdays I post videos. May not always be in that order, but I will try my best to make contact with you at least twice a week on an official basis. So Adil saying, this may be a funny question, but is there a WhatsApp group for this module? Yes, there is. You obviously joined late. Someone shared our goodies. I don't know, one of the students, it was a female student. There we go. Thanks, Jennifer, again. So that is linked to the WhatsApp group. Okay, so on the 20th, we have 2 sessions. The first one starts at 6 o'clock as usual. We go through, we give an overview of what's going on. And then please take note of this date, because I was quite surprised to see on the WhatsApp group that you guys have got computers or something after me. That was not on the official schedule. So we need to make double sure. You need to know your NSS sessions. These are very important. That's why they're in bold. That's why the dates are in red. This is where I talk you through your assignment 1, where I go through referencing the layout, what you should be adding, basically giving you tips on how to approach that assignment. I'm not going to read through all of that. You can see it, but please take note, on the 1st of May, it's a public holiday. We have got a scheduled collab. Now, we're not going to actually have one in a face-to-face capacity or in an online capacity like now, I will be sending you a recording which will contain a summary of Learning Unit 3. And there you have the rest of the dates. So your timeline, you should all have access to it now. For this week coming, you should start looking at okay, so Morena, thanks for that. I'll have to follow up with the powers that be because they told me something different. So I'm not going to argue. That's unprofessional. So let's just, I'll clear it and I'll come back.
If I can clarify that one, we got the original roster and then Inez sent out one a little bit late because she said she'd missed a few sessions or something. So I think that's where the confusions come in. There were 2 versions.
Okay. Okay. So I'll have to chat to Inez about that. But don't you guys worry about that. So for this week, you should focus on Learning Unit 1. Theme 1 deals with the concepts of philosophy. Read through it. For those that really struggle, please, 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 please make use of YouTube. Go and Google search some of the terms that you don't understand. There's some wonderful videos that explains things to you. So at a later stage, during the course of the week, I will make some of those links available to you so that ones that I like, so you can sort of see what's going on there. So Alyssa is asking, can this timeline be on the timetable that you were talking about? Yes, please can someone post it on the group so I also have the updated version. Okay, so that is what's planned for this week. I'm going to get stuck for time if we don't start moving. So next week is the 13th. You're going to be working on Learning Unit 2, but only Theme 1 and 2. So wherever you see the things in red on the right-hand column, that's just related to that specific week, like week 3. You'll see task 2 should be done. It doesn't mean you have to do it that week. It just means related to that theory is this ICE task. So our first ICE task is this week. It doesn't mean you have to do it this week. You can only, let me quickly teach you how this stuff works. Okay, so activity 1.3.1. What does that mean? It means the first one is for Learning Unit 1. The 3 stands for Theme 3. The second one, or the third digit, that one means it's the first activity in Theme 3 that you have to do. But you guys don't have to worry. I went and created shortcuts that you guys don't have to do it the long way. So this is just, I will go through this timeline with you every single Collab session. The ones that we've had will just drop away. So don't stress about it. Yeah, you have got all your work. You'll see like on a week like the 27th of March, I did not schedule any theory for you so that you can only work on your assignment. Obviously, life is going to happen to you and you might be behind. That would then be a good week for you to try and catch up on some of the work that you are behind on. As you can see, on the 3rd of April, we will then have another Collab session. Then you should still be busy with Learning Unit 3. Okay, I went back a page. I want to draw your attention to week 7 and week 8. I'm not crazy. I did not make a mistake. There's a reason why I want you to go through Theme 5 before you go through Theme 4. So there's a reason for that. Theme 5 carries a lot of weight in the assignment. So that is why I want you to do that, so that in our collaboration, I can talk to you about that. And in our NSS, we'll touch on some of the bases. You do need to know African philosophy, but it's a small part of the assignment. So that is why I swapped those two around. Then in the week of the 1st of May, there will be a multiple choice ICE task, and number 4 is also the same. So as you can see, this is what's going on here. And that's the last week. So just a few general tips from someone that is also currently studying. Academics is important, your studies are important, but your life is also important. Please make sure that you don't totally neglect your family, whether your family is a partner or not, whether it's four-footed creatures or real children, whatever the case might be. Please make sure you take care of your family. Correct, Alicia. We will meet up every second week. So don't neglect your actual work. If you're a working person, don't get fired because of your studies. It is important that, especially for those of you that tend to be our typical A students that want to score 80% for everything or above, don't kill yourself in the process. It's really not worth it. So do well. You don't have to do perfectly. Take note of your own stress levels and try to build a support system. That, to me, on my side, is why I want the WhatsApp group. That is my way of supporting you. So I've, in the past, found, and I will probably share quite a few of things from my last year's group that I still have open, that I would explain certain things that the students are like, okay, now they've lost the plot, what's going on? That is part of the support system. So let's quickly go look at what is this VC Learn about. I know some of you still struggle, you don't have access to it, but I did make you some screenshots of certain aspects and you will be able to figure out from there. So when you are finally on VC Learn and you click onto your FOED module, on the left-hand panel, there is going to be a thing that tells you all of these things. Okay, so under more, guys, I'm not going to answer any questions now because I end up pausing and I'm not even halfway through the slides and I've got 20 minutes left. So I will answer all the other questions later. If I can't answer them in class, I will leave you guys voice messages. So where do you find your ICE tasks or anything else? You need to know where's more resources. So it says module content and there's learning units. You click on 1, 2, 3, or there's something called more resources. And when you click on your more resources, this block at the bottom is what you will see. So if someone asks, where will you know where the YouTube links are? That is where you will find them. More resources, click on YouTube. It's going to be a text that I will say, this is the link for video 1. This is the link for whatever, whatever. And underneath that is ICE activities. So I'm going to take you through your ICE activities now. You should be able to put that, Beulah, if closer to the time, because I think mine is probably the first stuff that you've got to do. And you still don't know, I will speak to Inez. Inez is brilliant with making videos. She could probably make a video for you guys to show you how to do something. Okay, so ICE task 1 is basically activity 1.3.1. But where are you going to find it? You're going to go into your module. You're going to go under more resources. Then you're going to go into ICE activities. And then you're going to select ICE task 1. I've given you a little screenshot there on the left-hand side. That's what it looks like. You click on that. Let me grab the hand there. You click on that black line that says ICE task 1. You click on it, it opens up and you will be able to do what it is you need to do then. There's a suggested due date for the 20th of March. Because assignment 1 is due on the 4th of April. The thing that you're going to create here, you're creating a metaphor for me, is going to be used in your assignment. So if you want me to check it, you need to submit it before you submit the actual assignment. And preferably quite a bit of time beforehand, so that if you totally miss the boat and you've got the wrong side of the stick, I can still contact you and say, okay, wait, let's go through this and talk you through it. So that is why that is a suggested due date. It's not compulsory. All your stuff needs to be done by the end of May, nothing before then. Okay, let's move on to the next one. ICE task 2, you will find that again, that's question 2. It's of your assignment 1 is based on this activity. This is where you compare idealism and realism. So you're going to click on that black line that says ICE task 2. When you click on it, it's going to open it up. There will be a link for you to upload your work. That is where it's going to be done. So that's what that one's about. ICE task 3 and 4, I've been, sorry, this is what ICE task 2 looks like. It's a comparison table like this. ICE tasks 3 and 4 are simply multiple choice questions. You log in, you don't have to write anything to me. So that's where I thought, let me just save my poor students that struggle writing a little bit here. It is a multiple choice test. So you will click begin. Please make sure when you finished with the whole thing, you say save answer. It sits on the right-hand side of it. And when you are done, you're going to click save and submit on the right-hand side as well. And that's it. End of the story. Number 4 looks exactly the same. Okay, so that's the end of the discussion of the ICE tasks. So how do I go about to submit assessments, the due dates, and so forth? I've now talked you through it. Assignment 1 is due on the 4th of April. You can expect your results the 25th of April. It takes about 3 weeks because you submit it. Then I get people that for some reason or other, because of late registration or what, finally round about 4 or 5 days after that, I can only start marking. Once I have marked everything, it has to be checked by the admin people. Only once they've checked it, do they release the dates. What I can ask you, please, not all lecturers feel the same about this, but I'm actually quite adamant about it. Please save your answer in PDF format. It helps that your pages don't jump and go all wonky on the system. If you don't know how to do it, I can show you how to do it. It's very easy to sort out. But where would you find it? You will scroll on the left-hand side. There's going to be something called assessment submissions. Before you can do anything, the very first time you submit anything, you have to do the integrity declaration for all submissions. And that document that you just go, okay, is actually you saying that you will not steal work from other people, be it online or from the books. So if you are in breach of the plagiarism policy, that is where it comes in, because with that second tick, you have agreed to obey the rules of the IIE. So you will then select assignment 1. That link is not available as yet. You will then simply click on the link and you will upload your PDF. And that's the end of assignment 1. Assignment 2, you no longer have to do the declaration, because that first declaration is for all your assessments for this module. And now you're just simply going to go into assignment 2, upload your PDF, end of the story. Your summative assessment, same thing is going to happen. So let's quickly run through. I've got about 15 minutes to talk you through some of the key aspects of Learning Unit 1. So the first theme deals with the concept of philosophy in education. What does it actually mean? What does it try to tell us? So the importance of a philosophy of education means that we've dealt with some of these already, is what should the aim of education be? When you walk into your class, let's say for argument's sake, it's a grade 10 class, what are you aiming to teach? Why should, another question, who should be educated? What should be taught? These are all typical questions a teacher asks when they walk in. So we tend to think at number 2, who should be educated? And you're like, no, everybody. Trust me, when you walk into your class and you have got your naughty bunch on the right back corner that's not paying attention to you, your human instinct, not your teacher instinct, your human instinct is going to be just ignore them and carry on with what you're doing. Then you've made the decision on who should be educated. And that is where philosophy comes in. Now I've got to stop and weigh up little Johnny and his buddies in the back right-hand corner that's irritating me. Do they have a right to education? Do I feel like teaching them today? That's the type of questions that you only can answer. I can't tell you. I can tell you what you should be doing. You should be teaching everybody, but you will get moments where that is actually going to do. So that is where it starts off with, why is it important to have philosophy of education? That is basically the main focus of theme 1. So you'll go through theme 1 fairly quickly. Then we're going to look at what are the branches of philosophy. So someone's already mentioned this axiology and what. And I tend to find this is where people that did not do postgrad, so those of you that's already did honors in some form, will find it easy because you've already been introduced to these words. The rest of our class, to them, this is a foreign language. They're like, what are these funny words meaning? And that is what makes philosophy difficult. The advantage or the positive that I can tell you is you don't need to know those in detail to be able to do well in this module. Those are just for those of us that love philosophy and want to know more about it. We go into the more detail. If this is overwhelming for you, you stick to the basics and that's sufficient. So why is the philosophy of education important? I'm not going to read through all the bullets. You can see them for yourself, but they actually do explain to us why this module should be part of your PGCE. And here we have got the branches of philosophy. There are different versions of this. Yes, the pass mark is 50% for this module. But none of you should just be getting 50s. With all the help I'm giving you, you should be getting 65 and above. So if we go look at the branches, so some websites will give you a little bit more, some will give you a little bit less, depending on which one you're going on. But in general, we start off with metaphysics, which deals with what is real, what is actually really going on. We've got ethics that deals with what is the value of something. We've got the aesthetics looking at the beauty of something. Then we've got logic, political philosophy, and epistemology. You don't have to stress if you don't know what these weird words mean. You are quite okay with just a summary that I've done. So what I've done basically here is I've gone and split this up. It's on Morena, it's on the timeline. Will tell you all of that. So everybody should by now be on the WhatsApp group when the session is finished, because I've got to finish at 7 if you guys are going to go to something else. I have got to, I'll share the documents with you, the timeline and all of that on WhatsApp so that you've got them. So let's get back to what's on the slide. On the left-hand side, you've got your branches that we cover, so you need to know what those are. In the middle column, I've got what's the central beliefs, what is it that they focus on, and on the right-hand corner, how do these things, these branches, relate to education? If you can make sense of it, great. If this is like Greek to you, think I'm swearing at you, don't stress about it. It's not a top priority for you to master this specific information. So what does metaphysics then cover? That is what is in theme 2 of unit 1. We're looking at what is reality, who or what is God, is there a God, that type of thing. can be part of metaphysics. Epistemology deals with what is knowledge. How do we know what we know? How do we know that what we know is correct? Those are all the typical things that we deal with in epistemology. Axiology deals with what is the actual value of something. Is something, for argument's sake, what I'm trying to do with you in today's session is I'm trying to address the axiology of the importance of philosophy. Why is it important for you to understand philosophy? So that's basically how it works. And as you can see in bold at the bottom, I explained to you how each of these work within education. So I'm not going to go into detail about that. There's enough information on the internet to explain this simply enough. But as I've said, this is not a priority for you to master these branches in detail. Then we deal with what is logic. We can go into deductive and inductive reasoning. If it's interesting for you, by all means explore it. If it's overwhelming, you just need to know the basics of what is logic. Then we go, what I've dealt with beforehand, what is education philosophy? Those are the 6 questions that we tend to do. Important one that I didn't have before, what's the role of the teacher? What is the role of the student? These questions are being addressed in your other module called SFL. So there is definitely an overlap of content, but that's understanding because we deal with theory. Your last theme deals with finding your own educational philosophy. You need to write a philosophy. You need to know what is a philosophy. It is quite important. In another module called PRET, P-R-E-T, Professional Ethics, you also write up your own teaching philosophy. This is where you will find your first task. It deals with a metaphor that you've got to choose. You've got to look at some of these things, come up with a metaphor, write it for me. That is your answer. End of the story. So now I'm finished with the slides. I've covered the theory that I wanted to, the information that I needed to. Now you guys can go crazy. Let's go see what some of these questions were. Can I give an example? So I could be saying, of what I expect. So let's say I, as a teacher, feel I'm a gardener. My children are the seeds, and I am the gardener that's trying to get them to grow. But teaching is a metaphor. I'm using a gardener as a metaphor in which, and then I just break it off, because a metaphor is what? It is liking something to something else. So there's a whole lot of examples in the picture that's on the screen. You can decide that you are a sculptor and you are sculpting young minds to create knowledge the way you want to have it. You could maybe think of it as a sports section, that you are the coach and you are leading this team, with other words, your class, to achieve victory. So now you've told me what your metaphor is, but you have not described it. So in your description, you need to tell me, what is your job? What is the children's job? Why do you feel that this is a good metaphor for you to use in something related to education? Let's say you want to be a cheerleader. You are there to encourage your students to keep going, to not give up. So maybe someone that's going to be a life orientation teacher might decide to go for something like that. Could also be a designer to help the children design their lives, to plan their lives. Where are they going? What are they in? What type of jobs do they want to do one day? And in your metaphor explanation, you have to tell me, what is your job, or not what your job, what part of your metaphor represents you, the teacher? What part of your metaphor represents the learners or the children in your class? Does that make sense? Okay, so Gert is saying, what happens to our online engagement if we cannot attend certain lectures? You need to speak to Inez about that. So she's the program manager. She's also the person that's going to be teaching you teaching experience, TESF, in semester 2. And she's going to be the one that's going to look at attendance and based on that decide whether you qualify to do your teaching experience or not. So I can't answer that question. Inez would be the ideal person to ask that question to. Debbie said next, I submitted my ICE task 1 yesterday, and I see that the same question is in the assignment assessment 1. Will it increase plagiarism? Yes, it's going to be there. It's going to be high plagiarism. I open each plagiarism report. And if Debbie's plagiarism tells me there's a 70% similarity to another student, I open that other student's work. I see, oops, that other student is Debbie, then it cancels it out. So that's how that works. Are we allowed to create a multifaceted metaphor? By all means, as long as you explain your metaphor to me in sufficient detail, I'm happy with that. Are we limited to one role? That's basically what Selena has also asked. You can have more than one role. The big deal is just make sure that you explain it. If you've got multifaceted roles, with other words, more than one role, make sure that you explain it. Quite frankly, though, guys, don't complicate life for yourself. Stick to something basic. Leandre say, does it require us to use sources to prove the point? Not for the ICE task. Okay, the ICE task is purely your idea of something. In your assignment, where you also have to make use of a metaphor, you have to link that to theory. So you will have to bring in aspects of your text or any theorist that you've read up about. That's what you will use then. So Amber says, is attendance tracked by attending these collabs or by chatting in the chat box during the collabs? I actually pull a report on who attended the class, whether you were chatty in the box, in the comments or not. It's whether you were present. To my understanding, that's how they track it. Okay, thanks, Mishka. Gerard, I see Mishka's given you Inez's email address so that you guys have got it there. So with regards to referencing, okay, so referencing is a big problem, okay, and we are completely aware of the fact that we've got students from a variety of undergrad institutions, and not everybody addresses it the same way. So in my collab session in which I discuss assignment 1, I will go through referencing in detail. If some of you, because I've already picked it up just from your questions, if you are nervous about that, I can make a little video that deals with plagiarism so that you can see what would be a problem for me and what would not. So Chris is saying, can we please get an example sometime of how to reference? Yes. Okay, so what I did is last year's students did a disastrous first assignment. And I actually made a huge slide collection on examples of incorrect things. So I will create a video for you guys that I will post on YouTube that explains to you, let's have a look at this. What is wrong? What is right? So I'll talk you through that and hopefully that works. Guys, even though it is an assignment, you are welcome. Obviously not the final version. While you're busy writing something, you can send me, not on the group, please, not on our WhatsApp group. You can send me a private message and say, am I referencing correctly? And I can check it for you and say, no, you're missing the boat. Oh, yeah, okay, you're on track now. So if referencing is a big wow for you, I can guarantee you I can help you through it. But if you don't ask whether you're right, I can't tell you that. So Paul asked, are we going to get access to these slides? No, you're not. If you go look on your screen, if you're on a computer, I don't know if the rest is, on the right-hand side, on the top screen, there's I'm going to try and use my hand. I don't know if it shows. There's a circle with a square inside it. Then there's a dirt bin. Next to it, there is a block with an arrow that points down. If you click on that, you download my slides. So I can't share the slides with you. You need to download them yourself. For those of you that's using your phone, maybe ask one of the others to share this with you, and it will be fine. So Alex said, so are we allowed to use the same information from our ICE task? Yes. That's the idea of giving you ICE tasks that's related to your actual assignment. Those of you that need to go, you need to go. You are supposed to use your ICE task for your assignments. Joelle's saying, okay, good, because I don't always comment. Yes, you don't have to comment. You are taking note. That's fine. We've already started introducing referencing to our grade aids. Yes, it's a big referencing is a nightmare for everybody. Alicia has explained to him how to download it. Awesome stuff. Joelle's explained what's going on. Storm says, with me doing a PGCE, can I still achieve cum laude? Yes, of course you can. You definitely can. Debbie, so when we join a collab, it's best to use your government name. No, man, doesn't matter. The system pulls a report what students, and it's got your student numbers next to it, who's gone on it. But because you're not all on the system now, they will create a different one. So don't you guys worry about that. We'll figure it out later on. Rourke says VC obviously has preference for the style. Yes, I'm going to share that with you guys shortly. Morena, those of you that's going to rush off to the next one, be free, you can go. Morena says, what happens? Whoopsie. What happens if we have load shedding? That is a valid query. You need to speak to Inez about that. Mishka says, then at Debbie, I think your name just needs to be specific enough that the lecturer knows it's you. There we go. Selena says VC doesn't exactly have cum laude, etc. Now you can pass. Of course, last year's students, I had students that qualified. I was at their graduation, and a few of them qualified with, I think that, yes, you are correct. We did say qualified with distinction. Yeah, same, as Mishka says, just the fancy word for it. Okay, you could definitely do that. Good. I've also got that as my goal for my master's. Where do I see my modules? I could not attend all the orientation sessions last week. I'm doing my PGCE over 2 years, perhaps anyone doing it over 2 years. Okay, so someone will be able to help you on how to do all of that. Please, those of you that's going to go to, oh, shame, Wayne, you're in a totally different time zone. Please go. Oh, yeah, that really sucks, Mishka, to miss it that close. Okay. Nathan, I'm so excited for the subject because I really enjoyed Inclusive Ed last year. Cool. This subject will help me a lot because I work with Down syndrome adults and kids. Okay, lovely, Nathan. If you, like I said, I actually wrote the Inclusive Ed module. So I have got a lot of information on a lot of different things. If you ever want to just share some ideas, happy to do that with you. Chris has shared for us the link for your personal computing. Okay, so there we go. Joelle's also given some information. Okay, so I hope you guys have got a better understanding and less of a fear with regards to what's going to go on. I'm going to stop the recording now, and we're going to